Hey guys, welcome to Blue Dragon Distro Podcast with Kane and Lenny, where we discuss games, technology, and basically anything we want.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Kane, and unfortunately there's no Lenny for this episode. She'll be joining us next weekend for the next episode. But yep, so I want to welcome all you guys to episode 3. But before we start, I'm hoping everybody is, with all the trying times, doing well, healthy, and just trying to make the best out of this. So real quickly, I'm just going to be talking, I'm going to keep it short because I don't have too much information about the mall. And then going from there to Torghast, which is the capital in the mall. So pretty much the mall, as we know so far, is the place where, at least from my understanding, you hit level 50, you end up going there, and you're going to have other characters come with you, and you guys going to find yourself stuck there. All right. They help you get out, but from helping you get out, they end up having to stay behind. And the way so far I'm understanding how the story will most likely play out is we will end up returning to try to help them get out at some point. So, but pretty much more is death. And right now, as you know, the Blizzard developers has talked about and everything, that pretty much the engine is broken. This is where, if I'm right, where people died, they go here and they end up going to one of the other planes. And also, this is a place where the jailer is. And we all know that Sylvanas and the jailer has something going on together. We don't know really 100% where the end goal is. I know in the cinematic, she's going to set us all free, that the world of, where we are, the actual real physical world, is pretty much a jail for us. So, but we're going to see where she's trying to get at and where her story arc will go. I'm thinking, and I may get some hate for this, I know Lenny will kill me for this, I'm thinking her story arc in this expansion may come to an end. I'm thinking, but we'll just see how everything goes and how Blizzard decides to deal with her story arc. But to talk a little more still about the mall, not to go too much off topic, I was saying, we get there at 50, we have to escape everything. We do come back when we hit max level. It's supposed to be a place where we explore. There won't be too many, or none at all, from my understanding, any rest stops or anything to just, okay, you have it in and you could chill. It's no, you're going to be constantly out there exploring, and it'd be dangerous. One thing I did look at on one of the wikis is they did have the images of the mall guards. And honestly, they look like, a regular group of, 5 players that you will run into. Not saying that, they look like actual players. They have, the armor and everything with the theme of the mall. But I'm saying when you look at the images, it's you have one character that could be a tank, one that could be a range player like a hunter, your regular melee DPS, and also some kind of spellcaster. So it's interesting where they're taking the characters and everything. There is other things I'm not going into. That there's also with the jailer and some mechanics of the mall. If I'm right, it's outside of Torghast. But yeah, so we're gonna see where they definitely take it. I'm interested to definitely see Torghast, which is the next one I'm going to talk about after our little break. But yeah, we'll go from there. Catch you guys in a moment. And now a word from our sponsor. Hey guys, and welcome back. So the next part is Torghast, which is Tower of the Damned. This I'm excited for because this is what they call, just to explain to you, infinite dungeon. And what they mean by infinite dungeon, if any of you guys have ever played Diablo 3 or anything like that, as you could see, even if you redo the story, the dungeon is different. It's not oh, okay, I know. I can go down this corridor, make a left turn here, make a right turn over here, go down this other corridor and make a few more turns. And it's the same exact thing as I'll end up in the same exact spot. No, it is ever evolving. It keeps on changing. So you could go into the dungeon, you do whatever levels that you could do, you get to the end until you can't complete anymore. Then when you decide to come back, do the whole thing over again the next day, completely different layout. It's not going to be the same. And this to me interests me because then, it has a replayability. It doesn't get stale as fast. Depending on how they do the randomization, it will give you maybe some things will be difficult earlier than later or in the middle. Difficulty may swing back and forth. So I'm actually interested in how they deal with the difficulty and the randomization on the dungeon and how do they synchronize all that. A few technical things I do want to go over. They do have something called free souls, which is a finite currency that you could use if I'm right to get buffs. They call Souls Blessing. So that's one thing. I think also you could use the currency to get certain special abilities. Now, I don't want to go over the special abilities yet because one, they're going to beta or they went into beta already for this. So I don't think anything is finalized. So I don't want to waste you guys' time on it. But from my understanding, you're going to get certain special abilities. Like, for example, the Souls Blessing, I think, increases your stats, your primary stats. But those other special abilities, I think, allow you to do extra damage or have certain kind of like spells. And if I'm right, they get stronger as you go higher up in the tower. And I believe, don't quote me on it unless they're going to change it. But if I'm right, even if you, let's say, finish for the day, you get to a certain point and everything, I think you carry some of those abilities on when you come back the next day to continue on with the tower. But don't quote me on it because one is beta. I'm even, a little shaky on talking about it now, but this is an interesting topic. And, that's why I wanted to talk about it. I'm not interested in many dungeons. Like sometimes I just do dungeons just to get gear and that's it. I don't really want to deal with dungeons like that. I'll deal with raids more or less. But this one, because to me, it feels like it has that Diablo kind of vibe. It kind of it piques my interest at least. So, I'm hoping there's going to be some kind, bosses, mini bosses that we deal with. And I'm wondering how do they handle depending, because I didn't see too much about, okay, when you get to a certain point, does it just try to kill you off? Or is it that it gets so difficult you would have to actually come back the next day to continue? So that's why I'm curious how they're handling those things. The only thing that sucks is a max level dungeon, level 60. So can't really mess with it off the bat. Let's say if you just drop in the game and start leveling from scratch. But at least it's something to look forward to. I'm also curious if they give anything special because it reminds me a little bit about the Mage Tower in Legion. So I'm wondering if you get to some point specific to your class, if you get anything like special armor or any special weapons, something just showing that you have achieved a certain level in the tower. So, these are things I'm going to bring up and, I'm just curious about. What I'm going to do, I need to find a link, but we do have right now a way of you guys leaving us, messages, and we can even play them on our podcast. So from everything I talked about today, if you guys have any thoughts, things you like about the upcoming expansion, talking about the mall, the tower, and also, any ideas you guys might have, even for like future episodes, you could definitely, I'm going to try to find a link and put it on for this podcast. You could go to that link and leave us a message. We'll definitely get it. And, depending, we could even play on the podcast. The other thing, I want to give you guys some updates before I end this. We are now on Google Play, or not Google Play, sorry, the podcast for Google. So we're up on there now. I'm going to leave a link. And also we're on Spotify for a podcast. We're on a bunch more. I'm going to put that on our Twitter. So I just don't want to flood this with all that information. All right. The last thing is just to go over quickly. We do have a YouTube channel. We also stream. So for the YouTube channel, you just have to do Blue Dragon Distro and you'll find us. On Twitter is BDD Blog if you want to follow us on Twitter. On Instagram, that's Blue Dragon Distro. So you can follow us there too. And also me personally, I stream I stream Tuesdays and Thursday nights after 8:30 p.m. and then Sundays from 1 to about 5. And my handle on Twitch is Dark2088. If you can find me there. All right, guys, have a good one, and we'll see you next Sunday.